Hey there everyone, and welcome to the lands of Alaire. I'm Ian the Dungeon Master, and I'm joined here by my two friends Tori and Aaron of Joined by Gaming, my younger brother Tyler, my older brother TJ, and Scott.
just Scott. Valued member of the community, newest cast member.
Absolutely.
I'll stick up for you.
So we are back in the adventure. Are you guys pretty much ready to kick it off? I'm ready to jump straight to it.
Sure, I mean, we left off.
Yeah, there's a nice big recap. It does not cover everything, so if you haven't seen the prior episode, check it out. It's on YouTube. Here we go. So last we left off, our heroes, Erlon, the half-elf free roamer, Melee the archer, Leander the half-orc paladin, Gilroy the mage, and their newfound ally Jar, and many of their companions, found themselves deep in the dwarvish kingdom of Karadmoren. Surrounded by hints of giant activity, Erlon and Jantel led the party towards a huge body of water to the north, and Erlon discovered a newfound ability in that he can now read Giantish. As the group made their way towards civilization, they encountered a curious duo, Jar, the traveling drow, and his compatriot Limrolt, an older dwarf. After some rocky introductions, Jar and Limrolt promised to deliver the party to the nearby settlement of Waterwheel. On the road towards Waterwheel, our party encountered some locals in the form of a pack of raiding frost giants while resting atop a plateau. It appears the frost giants were headed south to fight with their sworn enemies, the fire giants, and they passed the party without taking much notice. After a day of travel, our party arrived in Waterwheel, discovering the settlement is populated by a menagerie of races, some monstrous in nature and some more familiar, but all under the guidance of Mayor Benevel, and all protected by the Lightning Gate, a mechanical wonder which protects the ramparts from giant-kind assaults. The party also noted that the town's massive water wheels, the source of their industry, prosperity, and name, are not functioning properly and are refusing to spin. Entering the settlement, our party secured rooms at Rockbeard's brewery. While Limrolt left to go take care of his own business, the group encountered a surprisingly familiar, gnomish face, Singstalter, the inventor from back in Sarengar. Singstalter told the party about his journey to Waterwheel and how he quickly climbed the ladder of the local mechanics union, while maintaining which maintains the lightning gates. He also told the party that he could use their assistance if they were willing to help him find some missing components that are causing disruptions with the water wheels. That same evening, our party went and met with Singstalter by the largest of the water wheels, where he exposed to them the machinery which uses the river's power to charge large batteries, which keep the lightning gate charged. Apparently, the wheels wouldn't turn because of a lack of oil of slipperiness. Singstalter promised the gratitude of the locals, an audience with the mayor, who happens to be a member of the legendary Order of Swords, as well as a sizable reward in gold if they could retrieve some raw materials from which oil of slipperiness could be made. He told them of a tree to the north, which sits just outside of a cave, and should grow appropriately oily seeds. Our party met with the mayor's wounded champion, the Goliath Godric, back at Rockbeard's. Godric forewarned them of a frost giant like none he'd seen before, which possessed 5 heads and 3 arms, as well as a corrupt circle of druids who live in the forest to the north. The party then set off to find what was promised. Leaving their companions to find their place in Waterwheel, you traveled north and soon encountered a trio of frost giants who were picking away at a cart belonging to traveling goblins. You dispatched the giants and saved a single goblin, the rest were washed away. Who rewarded you with healing potions before heading back to town. Gazing deeper into the ever-dark forest, our party took a short rest before heading onward. And so you take your rest, catching your breath and patching up your wounds after your battle with the marauding frost giants, and tranquility returns to the forest around you. The sun warms your skin and the path before you is bright, but there is an unnatural stillness to the dense pines. What are your guys' HP at after that rest?
38.
38.
29.
Have you
What?
correct. 29?
Drink a healing potion.
I
Friend?
just got wailed on by a frost giant.
Did you throw any hit dice?
I did. Oh, did we?
You're
Yeah,
resting
for
up,
rest.
I'll do
yeah.
that right now.
What about Erlon?
59.
6 too, because
59.
I told you all stories.
For each hit die.
You
No,
rest
just
up, Melee?
1d6, but
Yeah,
it's telling you
62.
stories.
62. Almost max.
Well, you-
Then Jar's at 51.
51.
So we begin to sit down.
Yeah, bind your wounds. Take a moment by the river.
Leander looks out over the land.
oh, we're doing that.
We're up to...
Plus con.
Oh. Is that plus con to each hit die?
I think so, right? Yeah.
So, plus 8, 20, plus 35.
64?
64, yeah.
I got the numbers right in front of me. I get to cheat. Alright, once you're all prepared, you continue down the path, heading deeper into the ever-dark forest. Despite a certain calmness in your surroundings, the hair on the back of your neck stands up. An intense feeling that something or someone is watching you overwhelms your senses. The winding path narrows, and the terrain becomes more uneven as you continue forward. Why don't you all throw me a perception check?
This has not gone well since we arrived in Karadmoren.
Luckily, you have a particularly perceptive party member now. Anyone get above a 20? Nope? Alright, well, at least Jar would passively notice that there's some disturbed foliage on the side of the road, and as you give it a glance just to check what might be coming up, you look underneath the foliage and see that there's a smooth, round stone about the size of your palm, sitting in the mud there, and it appears as though it's been disturbed over and over again, picked up and set down, and when you pick it up, you find that the direction it was facing had some cardinal directions that are appropriate to your position, and an arrow pointing towards the northwest.
Okay. And does the trail kind of move?
No, it seems to continue pretty much straight north.
Straight north.
Yeah.
Okay. What do you think is this? And I'll
Show the party.
shall have them come over and take a look.
Sure.
Gilroy snatches it out of Jar's hand. Let me see that. Can I roll like history maybe?
Sure.
To glean some insight on who may have made this.
Absolutely.
For a purpose. An 8.
No, not really sure who might have left that there. It seems to mark a path of some sorts.
So it has the cardinal directions.
Yep.
And then one particular
Arrow that says this way. Yeah.
So, if the trail goes north, then it's pointing northwest.
Yep.
Erlon, you ever seen anything like this?
Should I roll for that?
Sure, if you want to. Yeah.
That was history.
Oh,
That's what I rolled, yeah.
Could be survival, honestly.
Survival would be 12.
12? You're not particularly familiar with who would do it, but a lot of races that travel during the night have a tendency to set up paths like this. They set down stones that others pick up, and it indicates the direction towards some hideout or ruins or something along those lines.
Do you share that information with
Yeah,
us?
I pass it along. I'm like, a lot of raiding of burial mounds in my land were used by adventurers in some sort of directional stone like this.
Mm-hmm.
I suggest we steer clear of that area if we can.
But maybe there's things of value.
Continue along the path. Are you talking as you walk, or are you just staying around that stone?
With these giants around, I don't really trust moving off trail.
We should just get the oil that we need and come back. I don't know if Leander agrees or not.
I think the oil should be number 1 on our list. Maybe on the way back. We'll check it out.
So as you talk, the path rounds a bend, and you find that the land drops before you. And you stand above atop a precipice, gazing down at the terrain high above the pines. The ground below looks wet and marshy, and many of the pines are bare wood lacking a single needle. The path cuts down the precipice, and then seems to continue straight north through the woods. To the east, the Great Lake, ever glimmering with the high sun. To the northeast, about a mile away, you can barely make out a tall, spire-like structure of white carved stone peeking above the forest canopy. It seems tilted to the east, and by all means, an ancient ruins of sorts. To the northwest, you can see the rising mountains, which you know hold the tree you're searching for. You guys make your way down into the marsh. Trudge along.
I guess.
What time of day are we at?
It was early afternoon when you guys fought the giants, so the sun is pretty high in the sky.
Okay.
Yeah. And as you travel downwards, off the precipice and into the marshy forest, you still can't shake the feeling of eyes upon your movement, and a crow caws in the distance. The sound rings through the valley around you. The path, while being much straighter than previously, seems to continue forward endlessly, and you walk it for about an hour. Throw me a nature or survival for those of you leading the way.
15.
No.
Well, Erlon, a 15 will pretty much do it, as your pace is severely slowed by grasping roots and slippery, muddy rocks, but you guide the party away from deeper marsh water and whatnot, and you're moving slower than normal, but you're certainly not too uncomfortable with the situation. And then suddenly, as you move on forward, with a great gust of wind, a clearing bursts into vision from the tree line. The clearing is filled with green, murky water, which surrounds a sunken, 50-foot-tall stone spire, the shape of which certainly evokes thoughts of a windmill. The base of this structure is surrounded in a green algae, and the spire has no portals, with the exception of a single, huge, 20-foot-tall open entrance faced in your direction, and there's a set of waterlogged flat stones that lead to this entrance. The sun slowly begins to sink to your west. Still high in the sky, but you know it's drawing towards evening.
Not a good omen, I think.
Could be somewhere safe to rest for the rest of the day. That way we don't trudge on into the evening into the mountains.
Suppose, but you know what uses 20-foot doors? Erlon?
Oh, yes.
Not to say, we couldn't clear it out.
Sure you could.
Looks like it's going to be a pain to get there.
I can scout it out if you need.
Sure, Jar.
Prove yourself.
We've never had somebody offer to do that.
And you stay behind. You're louder than Tinker's cart.
Yeah, throw me your stealth.
23.
Alright, you are feeling quite quiet as you approach this thing, and you enter the spire to find that it has a smooth stone base and walls, which are rather bare, with the exception of a row of giant-sized sconces. On the far side of the spire, a mossy hearth sits, cold and unused. The high ceiling of this space is crumbling, and there are large cracks spread across its surface like a spider web, though you can barely make out a depiction of a pair of frost giants, male and female, back-to-back battling with what appear to be a group of lizard men.
Okay.
Otherwise, all seems rather quiet.
Alright, so Jar will step back out and
It appears as if though it is empty and has not been lived in for a while.
Can I roll insight?
Sure! It's not an ambush.
It's a 24.
Zar seems... You're being honest, right?
Yeah.
Alright. I trust him.
Straight on over.
Alright. It's easy enough. You really try not to slip into that water because it doesn't smell particularly great. And when you make it inside, it appears as though the area near the mossy hearth, taking a moment to look around and get a feeling for the area, it appears that has been disturbed recently. And sitting in the discarded ashes is another smooth stone, much like the one you found on the path, but its arrow points directly to the back of the hearth.
Suppose I'd like to investigate it.
Sure.
So I'll roll investigation.
Just gonna move on up and pat around there?
When you say it like that.
Fine, throw your investigation. Let's see how cautious you are.
15.
Okay, so essentially that's what you end up doing after a while, and indeed you find that the back of the hearth is an illusion, which disappears upon being touched, revealing a quartzy stone tunnel which leads to a natural cavern deep below the spire.
Seem to have a knack for this.
Then by all means, lead way.
Oh, please! Don't let me stop you.
Can I check the walls and see maybe what kind of creature or
Sure.
how this was dug out?
Absolutely.
What would you like for that?
What do they do for stone cutting? Usually history, right?
Yeah.
But in this case, I think survival or nature could definitely do.
Alright, I'll throw nature.
Sounds good.
7.
Something dug that out.
So is it on like a decline?
Yeah, it seems to curve down underneath the spire.
So, I guess Jar will step up and he'll take a look and see if he can observe.
Give a look at that, and see what might have done this.
Yeah,
Sure.
Roll history for that.
Yeah, that could do.
Okay.
You're more familiar with the locals.
Mealy's having flashbacks of the spider cavern
19.
where everyone refused to sneak.
She's thinking forewarning the
19.
group.
Just throwing that out there.
19. These types of illusions and this type of roughly hewn stonework into a natural cavern like this is exactly what duergar do, dark dwarves. They have a tendency to set up holds like this throughout Karadmoren and then lead nighttime raids. Also, they're precisely the type of creatures that would use those stones as a means to find their way around.
It has all come together for me. I believe we have stumbled upon duergar.
Which are dark dwarves, by the way, and everyone pronounces duergar differently. Duergar. Yeah.
So just, is there anything that, like, my character would already know about the species that I don't know because I'm not familiar with it? Or is that a role I have to do to know anything?
No, I mean, from being from Farringwell and the battles that you've fought and whatnot, you wouldn't be particularly familiar with them, with the exception of children's stories, which say up north there are dwarf-like humanoids that like to steal people in the night and do evil things instead of what dwarves normally do.
Alright, thank you.
No problem, yeah.
I think Leander's gonna start getting ready to slide down the
Sure.
Is it like a slide?
It's steep enough that if you
Fell?
gave it an attempt, yeah,
Yeah.
you could. It's also not so much an incline that you couldn't, with a walking stick, carefully make your way on down there.
Okay. Yeah, I think it would seem to pose a threat to our safety in the night.
I would think so, having a duergar hold underneath our feet.
Erlon, all of this reminds you a lot of what that lizard man told you. In the forest under a ruin, it's starting to feel like you've had some forewarning of this place.
Okay. So, yeah, I lean into the group like that strange lizard man. I think this is what he spoke of.
Do you remember what he said about it, specifically?
He scrawled it down.
Yes.
Now, did
Looks like it actually thought on my
did
notebook.
Jar,
No worries.
could Jar see their conversation happening? Because he can read lips.
Oh, sure, absolutely.
As I recall, I wasn't over listening. I just saw him speaking to you, and I think he said there'd be power underneath it with something about a lizard's face on the wall.
In that case, let's go.
Gilroy perks right
I
up.
look at Jar suspiciously.
Yeah.
You're not having an easy time having the group warm up to you,
Well, to
Jar.
be fair, Mealy doesn't like anyone. So you're not too far out of
And
this.
just Erlon's flaw.
It's okay. The Emerald will still like me.
So you guys begin down the tunnel?
Yep.
Alright, so you make your way, some of you sliding, some of you carefully, into the subterranean cavern, and your lights flicker on the white quartz walls. The tunnel is about 10 feet wide and heads downward at a rather sharp bending angle. You emerge through a curtain of hanging wet vines into a larger cavern system. I'll switch us on over to that.
Sounds good.
You guys might be in the middle of the darkness to begin with. I'll bring us on over. Boom.
Okay. Pretty natural cave
Yep.
so far.
So as you emerge into this larger cave, you take a moment to adjust to your new surroundings. Jar, it actually feels kind of good to be underground again. The cave ceiling sits a full 12 feet tall, and the walls are still roughly hewn white stone. To your southwest is a particularly cramped-looking tunnel. Directly west is what appears to be another passage, which also branches off to the north, and further down the way it appears that stone becomes finely cut and placed in contrast to the natural cavern. I put Erlon in the front. This is just what I assume to be a good marching order.
Sure. I think that makes sense.
Yeah.
So there's no lighting that we see?
It doesn't appear so yet.
Okay.
I reach into my bag, pull out my new goggles.
All right.
Which I don't think
Oh,
I've
yeah.
tried
I
yet.
forgot about your gun.
Me too, until I looked at my character sheet. There's so many magic items.
So they're not like the most fashionable looking, but the darkness about you does become much more visible with tints of green upon the walls. It seems effective.
So, would you like me to scout ahead?
So Maylee's the only one that can't see a thing, right?
Yeah. Yep.
You got that everlasting torch.
I do. I pull it out of my bag.
It's blinding!
Yeah,
Yes, as I recoil, I reach out to give it to Melee.
Taking the torch, Melee?
Well, I'm not sure. Because if I can just kind of follow them based on like their footsteps and things like that.
You're
and
perceptive enough, yeah.
That way it doesn't give where we are immediately.
Sure.
And then we can always pull it back out if I need it for combat.
You
or
figure if
something.
there's one thing the Dark Dwarves would consider, when an intruder's coming, it's torchlight.
Yeah.
So that's definitely a good line of thinking as far as I'm concerned, though you'll
Oh.
probably have to stick pretty close to Gilroy's back to be able to traverse this area.
You go with that holding onto the torch until it's necessary? Or...
Sure. I hold on to it all the time.
I have a rope if you'd like to tie it to someone.
That seems like a problem. I'll be fine.
No problem.
Jar is considering
I can-
scouting ahead.
I can cast light on something if you can shroud it so that it don't be seen if we need to be in dark.
That could work.
More
She
than
doesn't
enough
like-
rocks nearby and
Yeah.
stuff.
Alright. So, yeah, I'll
She
Drop-
had her idea, but if you want to have, I
Reluctantly.
guess that's fine.
Well, this is just, it works a bit more easily.
All right.
So, yeah.
So Melee gets handed a bunch of various items because he's blind.
All right.
Honestly, I'm just tired of carrying this rope.
It's not even magical.
So, alright, so, shall I?
Yes, lead the way.
Okay.
So, not to interject again, but there are two different paths. What if we send Silas down the other?
Well, he is smaller than me, it'd work.
He is, but he's no mere scout.
I'm carrying glowing rocks.
Okay. Yeah, sure. Reluctantly.
Alright, so Silas will float down the southern.
Yeah, sure. The more craggish.
Okay, we'll do that first. I'll just grab Gilroy and set him on down this way. And he makes it to about here before stopping and turning back towards you.
Silas does.
Yep.
I scold him.
And he'll float on through.
So wait, did I see anything?
What he does see once he floats on through, though he has a nice little vantage, is a single filthy and bald duergar, which grumbles while pawing through various crates and sacks and barrels, seemingly the picking of his clan's local nighttime raids. If you retract him quickly...
He won't be seen.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you get that little bit of insight. Seems that there's just one down that way.
I'll tell the party there are duergar afoot.
Jar, were you stepping ahead during that time?
Yes.
Throw me your stealth.
13.
It's relatively quiet. As you reach this kind of bend here, one way forward is still a natural cavern system, and the other appears to be definitely ancient ruins of some sort or another. The stone is an entirely different type and fully carved bricks, which lay down almost perfectly among each other.
Do you pause there?
Only, what, 15, 20 feet away from you?
Yeah.
Yeah, he'll head up a little bit to the north.
Okay.
There.
You check out this room.
Yep.
Cool. So,
Our stealth.
that's alright, we'll carry
Okay.
that on. And what you see in here, this room is filled with piles of bones and discarded rubbish. There's little detail to the space with the exception of a few various stalactites and stalagmites, which sit in the darkness.
Okay. And do I see walls at the end of the room, or does it appear that the room continues on?
Yeah, that is the walls, actually.
That is the walls?
Yeah,
Okay.
I'll give you a slightly... You're not actually stepping in here, but this is what that room looks like.
Okay.
Just bone piles.
Yeah.
Alrighty. So I will, Jar will double back, and he will, quickly head partway down the
Down the...
flagstones area, the constructed hall.
Alright. So you make it to about here. Now throw me one more stealth check to see how good this approach goes.
17.
17? Let me throw a perception. That duergar there, is rather asleep looking. He may very well be the forward guard. He's just kind of back pressed up to that corner, head kind of at a lull.
Okay. Just the one?
Just one that you can see thus far.
Okay. Jarl's gonna double back, and he's going to let everyone know.
Alright.
So if you want to stealth to retreat.
That's alright, we'll carry what you got. And
Okay.
he failed atrociously, so you feel pretty safe.
Okay.
You report back. That way up there looks like a bone room.
Alright.
So to the north, it looks as if though they put refuge. But it splits just beyond here. And straight down the constructed hallway, there is at least one dwarf.
Look to him and say, I'm impressed. You know your way around underground. You even followed the advice dwarves always give when you're at a new place underground.
Which is, from my experience, don't be stupid.
That is true, yes.
And hug the right wall. So the tight space that Silas kind of floated on through is big enough that you could squeeze through as well. So you have options in how you want to approach this. It also definitely seemed like further to the west, down that way, Jar, that room is rather large, just based on the acoustics of it.
I would think going the more covert way would be to take the smaller path, but
It's not a bad idea. Who's going to go first?
Oh, I'll go. We've been standing here long enough.
Alright, Erlon, so you make your way up towards the crack. Are you going to attempt some stealth?
Yeah, Earl.
Sure.
Stealth.
Be more quiet than Tinker's wagon.
Natural 20.
Yes!
oh,
So 22.
So you you managed to slip right through there.
That's quieter than the Tinker's wagon.
And not only that, but this dwarf is rummaging through this chest with his back turned towards you, bent right on in there, and you feel silent as a field mouse on your approach. I would certainly give you advantage to strike him down if you gave it a try. Or you could just wait on him to go and give the signal.
Tap him on the shoulder. Okay?
Boom!
I'm just gonna pull out my sword.
Sure.
And go. Boom. Do
yes,
I still have advantage?
you do.
Okay.
Even more so.
That's going to be a 25.
Yes, definitely.
And that's 11 damage.
All right. So, pretty significant swing. Yeah, I'll let you get another one in, and then we roll initiative since you have extra attack anyway.
That's just a regular swing now?
I mean, as far as I'm concerned, this is a surprise round, so you got the jump on him pretty hardcore.
Sure. Yeah, so this time I'll just try to plunge it right into his stomach.
Sure.
And that is 17.
Yep.
And 7, another 11.
All right. Luckily enough, that'll manage to do it. And he drops to the ground with a thud after 2 quick and proficient shanks with a great sword. You listen for a moment. The cave seems to go rather still. It seems like no one particularly caught wind of that.
I think Leander's gonna try and squeeze through there
Okay, Leander up next.
as quietly as he can.
I just kicked the
Oh
body
my
off
goodness,
to the
the
side.
noise.
throw me that stealth. Ooh, you kick the body where?
Just away in front of me so it's not blocking the
Sure.
path.
That's a 0. You'd think Magic Plate would be quieter than...
Leander!
Now we roll initiative.
just scrapes up against the stone wall.
Ugh. I'm gonna use the old initiative counter in some time.
I did not roll well, but I suppose that's appropriate.
You're just standing there, looking around.
Alright. Melee.
20.
20.
Of course.
Erlon.
21.
21. Leander.
18.
We are in the room.
18. Gilroy.
4.
4. Jar.
17.
17. You guys, with the exception of Gilroy, barely managed to meet my dark dwarves. There we go.
Cool.
Melee, you're first. You do hear, after Leander's jingling armor, it's nothing that he can avoid, some movement down the way, down the western hall, as well as just some scrambling about in the area around here.
Okay, well, you guys are in the other room, so I'll just try to, I guess, head in that direction to meet them, but I want to stop at Gilroy and just take out the torch at that point.
Sure. Erlon and Leander, I'll move you forward a little bit since you would have made it through the crack. And Melee, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50. You can make it into this room, no problem, if you want to.
Okay. Can I also just... No, that'll be it.
Alright. Erlon, it appears there's quite a few down this way.
Okay. Just from what I can hear, because I can only see the
now
wall.
you
Okay.
can hear some movement, people picking up shields, getting their axes ready.
Alright. So, I call out to my ancestors,
Yep.
echoing throughout the cave. Walter, let us smite them!
Gladly.
And I charge towards the one I can see.
Alright. So there's one in this corner here. You can redirect towards him if you'd like to.
That works for me.
Alright.
And then I will reckless attack him.
Sounds good.
Just bring the hammer down. That is 17.
Yes.
And that is 13 damage.
13 damage. And you have your extra attack?
Yes.
Nice.
So, let's put that here, one now. Is that cocked?
No.
Okay, because there's like a 12 here or 15 here. So, it'll be 23.
That's definitely a hit.
12 more damage.
Perfect. Took him down.
And since I'm raging, I get a bonus attack against somebody if they're close enough, but I guess nobody's
Yeah,
close
this
enough.
guy's actually backed up a little
That's
bit.
pretty sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which brings us to Jar. Up this way. Jar, you hear the commotion has begun.
Okay, do I hear a commotion down the western hallway?
You do. Which probably that duergar that was resting is now at full alert.
Okay. Does it appear to be growing closer or
It sounds like they're gathering at the end of the hall.
gathering at the end of the hall?
Maybe 3 or 4 of them.
Okay. I guess I'm gonna have Jar duck into the northern passage there, going towards like the
Absolutely.
bone place, and hide in the shadows there.
All right.
Get me to
Yeah, throw that stealth.
ooh 28.
Okay, you feel well hidden there. Are you gonna hold an action or shoot a bolt or something?
He's going to he's gonna hold a bolt. He's gonna
Alright.
hold a crossbow bolt ready for.
And if you sense something coming this way, you'll shoot it.
Yep.
Okay. Which brings us to the Dark Dwarves.
Did you skip Leander?
Oh, didn't you get a 6, Leander?
Got an 18.
Oh,
So he should have gone before me.
yep. Boom. Go ahead, Leander.
All right. Yeah, I think he's probably just gonna run up past Erlon.
15, 20. Yeah, you made it right to this one if you want to.
Yeah, and I'll start swinging down at him.
Sounds good.
I've only ever heard of duergar. 23.
Yes. Now you get to see how flimsy they are.
I mean, you know, they can kill. I can see why they raid people. They're
Or
definitely
just you wait until they pull out their surprises.
great. 11 damage.
Okay.
Do they pretty much look like dwarves, but
Darker,
darker?
but bluish dark skin.
Pallid skin.
Yeah, grayish as well. They,
They have like solid white eyes too, don't they?
mhm.
It's pretty weird.
Yeah. They're like dwarves who abandoned any idea of living above ground. That also got strewn in with some weird mind player experiments.
17.
17 hits.
All right. Yeah. 6 damage.
6 damage. Alright, now that brings us to the Dark Dwarves, who begin doing this particularly strange behavior of theirs, where the one before you, Leander, more than doubles in size.
And I'm not witness to it.
No! As does this one, and this one, and Erlon, you catch the slightest hint of this one in the corner, just disappears.
Okay.
What is this? I think Leander would be thoroughly confused.
How much can I see looking down the hallway?
You can definitely see these two big boys.
I'm gonna need help over here.
And so they're going to throw some attacks at you, Leander, and then one at you, Erlon.
Just some magic nonsense.
Yeah, pretty much. So, a miss against you, Leander. And does a 16 hit you, Erlon?
It does.
That will be doing a full 6 damage against your rage. Yes, with great bellowing battle cries, they enlarge themselves. And then, up the way, Jar, throw me that perception check.
18.
That'll do. These guys are sucking at stealth. They go invisible. So, there is some movement in the ground before you. The chips and dust of the various decay of this natural cavern system. And no doubt there is a duergar not 5 feet in front of you, invisibly sneaking his way behind the party. And you have the jump on him.
Okay. So I've held the crossbow, so I guess
Yeah, not only that, but he's entirely unaware of your position, so...
I get sneak attack.
Yeah.
Right.
Ooh. Yep.
So that's not 20. So,
Which is always great for rogues.
Yeah.
so 16.
16 overall?
16 overall.
Alright. Yeah, that bolt sinks deep into his chest, and he does not seem to have too much more to work with. The rest of his companions, which you heard, seem to be hanging back down the western hallway. Is there anything else to do with them? I don't think so. Gilroy!
Gilroy actually had a pretty good initiative. Until Melee reached into his bag, which left him going, what the? Checking over all his things.
Well, now the sounds of battle are ringing out.
Yes, I hear the crossbow loose, sort of adjacent to me, or the closest thing I can see, I suppose.
Yep.
And I see is the duergar still invisible?
No, once he's shot like that, he
Right.
stumbles out of invisibility, falling to the ground.
So as I hear that loose, him let out a cry or whatever, I will look up from my sack of magic items.
Yep.
And let loose a firebolt, just relying on old reliable, old faithful.
Good old FB.
Yeah, literally. Yeah, try and hit that one that Jar was attacking.
Sure.
So that is an 11.
Flies down the hallway and spits against the wall.
And that's it.
But it would have done 2d10.
Yeah, would have, yeah.
Bringing us to the
Felt
top of the
pretty good
round
about
with Melee. Melee, upon looking at these enlarged duergar, you note that most of their items are rather ill-fitting, probably rated and suited for a race other than dwarves.
I'm going to stay like on this side of that hallway, but kind of behind, so I can just like reach around
Sure.
to shoot.
Like
And,
from this position?
yes.
Cool.
And let's see the one with the other one next. to
The other
it.
one? Yeah.
Yes.
Alright. Throw your attacks.
With sharpshooter.
Okay.
Just gonna one-hit kill these guys.
13.
Not quite. Arrow sinks deep into his wooden shield. And then you have your extra attack.
Yeah, I'm still gonna try with sharpshooter.
Give it another go.
No, that one.
Twang!
Oh, man.
Not
Man, you
helpful.
know, it's tough using longbows underground.
She doesn't have the vision.
I think Jar stole
Oh,
your,
that's
We
true.
can blame it on that. Erlon, we'll clear this dead one in front of you.
Yeah, so with like the little baby cut that one gave me, I'm gonna run in and find a weak point in his armor
Absolutely.
with my reckless attack and great weapon fighting.
Nice.
Nope. That's a 7 with advantage.
Not that time.
Alright. I'll try again. That is a 12.
Whoosh, whoosh.
Oh no!
And I'm actually going to move around him now, kind of where the rocks are.
Sure. Reposition yourself
Yeah.
up this way.
I knew I couldn't hit him, so I'm going to try to move behind him.
Okay, you, in doing so, push past some invisible creature that seems to be right next to you. He doesn't, like, lash out at you or anything, but you feel that, oh, there's another one, like, right next to me. Which will bring us to Leander.
Right. In the corner against these huge dark dwarves.
Yes. You didn't ever really hear too many stories of this behavior.
No, definitely not. But he's gonna take a swing at the one that he had swung at last
Weakened
turn.
one? Yep.
Yep, just normal. 23 again.
Yes.
Yeah, hoping to chop his arm off or something. 6 damage. He's got 1 health. No.
He is barely standing.
And I'll swing at the one next to Erlon this
Okay.
time. 14?
Let me check.
Or no?
No. With their scale mail, your attacks bounce off of their enlarged shields and armor, which will bring us to Jar.
Okay.
He's scrambling to his feet, but you feel as though this should be easy enough to finish off.
Alright, so he's looking pretty roughed up.
Yeah.
So I'll just I'll switch to Jar will switch to his rapier, and he'll try to just poke at him.
Sure.
Alright. No.
Man,
What did I start?
I was afraid that I wrote too much content, or too little content for this, but now I know. We are set. Alright, that brings it to the Dark Dwarves.
great.
Nothing's changed since they acted last.
Jar, down the way, one of them has enlarged himself and is charging down to attempt to assist his wounded companion there. And he's going to throw a perception and either run right past you or he's going to run right past you.
Okay.
Gilroy.
Luckily, you only make it that far, which also permits you an attack of opportunity, Jar.
Okay.
Stab him in the side while he's
Yeah,
running by.
and he doesn't. He also doesn't know where you are. He failed badly. These guys have rolled no higher than a 4 on perception, which is.
So if he doesn't know where I'm going, roll with advantage on it? Or?
Yeah, I think so. Right, attacking from an unseen location.
Okay. Will that give me sneak attack too?
Yep.
Yeah.
All the dice. Let's see, that's a 16 to hit.
Yes.
Nice.
Barely, but you did manage
Okay.
to find a crack in the armor.
And that's 11.
11 damage.
Yep.
And he gives out a baritone, which will bring us
So the ones
to
down
the
there.
the duergar down this way. So, Erlon, this guy scrambles up from the ground after you pushed him over. And he's going to try and swing into you with one of his war picks. Does a 15 hit you?
No, it does not.
It whooshes right over your head. These two big boys like the look of Leander. A 24.
Yep.
Gonna be 11 damage.
-3 from that.
Not available. Oh, I've now officially made your HP something it really doesn't like. To bring you to 51? Or 53?
56.
Oh, right, because you
Reduce.
reduce. Keep me in mind of that.
Yep.
So that was the one attack there. Second attack is a 23. So -8.
I'm actually gonna.
Oh,
Walter's gonna move in front of him
sure.
and negate 8 damage.
So nothing. Walter successfully and with great proficiency
Thanks.
slides in front of you, and with his great sword manages to completely deflect the shot.
Wow. Thanks, Walter.
Puts his hand on your shoulder.
Yeah.
Leander.
This one gonna squeeze in here to get his hit on Erlon. It's gonna be a hit for 6 damage as the war pick comes down on your shoulder with great force. Though through your rage you really don't feel the pain of it too much. And that will end it for the duergar for now. Which brings us to Gilroy, the lazy.
So I see this big boy charging down.
He's charging on down, yeah.
Alright,
He was intent on meeting whoever is in the entrance to the cave.
for sure. I think I'll just go, whoa! And shrink him.
Okay. You got him.
Alright, he's reduced.
To normal size.
He goes, no, that's better.
Which will bring us to the top of the round with melee.
Dude, so stupid.
Well done, you negated their innate ability.
I'm just gonna use my regular attack against the one that's wounded.
Sure.
So I'll peer out around the corner.
Yep.
I haven't used sharpshooter, like not used in so long. 17.
You got him.
I can always count on melee to place an arrow between somebody's head when when I do just enough damage not to kill them.
4.
Perfect.
Great.
Thanks, melee.
Yep, you got him. That one falls to the ground with a heavy thud as an arrow, which seems much smaller than it should be for hitting a dwarf. Nails him right in the neck. And you have your extra attack.
So the one right in front.
Yeah, the obvious target is the other one.
With sharpshooter.
Let's see it. Oh, what's it come to?
10.
Nope.
Great.
Overdrawn. Whang! Which brings us to Erlon.
So yeah, Erlon is cornered like an animal.
Yeah, you
so,
seem you're surprised to find that you are surrounded by assailants.
So I'm just gonna lash out at. I'm gonna roll this random one. The duergar, the small one.
Small one.
Yep.
All right.
And reckless attack, just frothing at the mouth.
Let's see it.
And that is 16
Perfect.
for 11 plus 17 damage.
17.
Nice.
Yeah, you cut hard into him. Your greatsword piercing through his armor and slashing down his chest.
I'm gonna go again,
Yep.
just like a hack, like a butcher, just down on this guy.
Let's see
And
it.
that is 23
Got him.
for 11.
Perfect. You cut him
Dang.
down.
And seeing it opening, he's gonna run out and join Leander,
Okay.
going
Yeah.
back to back.
Absolutely.
Sweet.
There are a few piling up dead duergar.
Do you get another bonus attack?
I do
So
actually.
yeah,
you're
for
right.
taking
I'm
someone down.
raging.
Yeah.
So yeah, so now as I go by, I try to slash at like the heels of this guy
Sure.
and try to bring him down. That's 17,
Got him.
and that is 13 damage.
Awesome.
Great round for Erlon.
Yeah, definitely. And yeah, you do cut right into his knee. He ends up bent down and crying out, which brings us to Leander.
Yep, and I'm gonna.
You run on forward and take advantage of that.
Yeah, no one. Erlon's next to me now. 14.
Not quite.
Oh, I'll swing again. Oh, 9.
Whoosh, whoosh. These things are hard to get a handle on with their weird state of getting much larger.
Do they revert back to their normal
They
size?
do. The
Okay.
ones that you kill shrink back down to normal size. Which will bring us up here to Jar. That's funny, Jar. That one looked like it was so prepped for a big battle. And now it's back in its regular form.
Okay. Let's see. So I'm in between two of them now. One has its back sort of to me.
Yeah, absolutely. This one is particularly unaware that you're there. This one is looking around frantically for what hit it, but I rolled so damn low.
He just woke up.
Yeah. He's so groggy.
Didn't get his glasses on.
So Jar will go after the western one, and he'll leave the one that's passing him go after Gilbert.
Okay.
So he still is not aware of my presence?
It doesn't seem so.
Okay, so do I get the
If he had
advantage?
rolled any higher, he would be.
Okay.
Yeah, you got him.
Yeah, it's 26.
Yes.
So, 7.
7 damage.
7 with the sneak attack, yeah.
This poor dude. He's still alive.
Just die, damn it!
Just holes in him from the rapier.
So, he's going to attempt his perception. What did you roll on that? 23?
Yeah. Well, I mean, you could also say that, he kind of knows
Now
where I'm at if I hit him.
I've been giving him incremental bonuses on his perception to try and find you, but he's still rolled so crappy. Now, he seems to have note of you. He turns this corner and brings up his great pick.
Oh shit.
Does a 17 hit you?
It does.
That's going to be dealing 6 points of damage because he's not particularly big. This one. Run up to you, Gilroy. Oops. Sorry, folks at home. He's going to be throwing a 19.
Yep.
It's going to be 6 points of damage.
Oh, Gilroy's hurting.
Yeah, not too much force in those stubby little arms, but their weapons are pointy. So, one attack against Erlon. Gonna be a miss. And then this one will reposition and attempt an attack against Leander. Gonna miss. As far as I can see, that's what the duergar are doing for now. Brings us to the top of the round, or actually brings us to Gilroy.
Yes. Can I see my guy?
Oh, yep. Gotcha.
So that dude is hurt.
He is.
Yeah. Jar gotta hit in on him, right?
Yep.
Yes.
Alright, I think I will. Yeah, I'll just, as he, runs up to me, hits me with the pick. I was a little unprepared for that.
Mm-hmm.
Even though I knew he was coming for me. Just not very ready.
Do you reduce his damage?
It's reduced by 1d4. Yeah.
Throw that d4 and I'll give you the health back. Even though he's technically normal size.
2.
2. So you're 34 health.
So I'll put my hands into his chest.
Okay.
And burning hands.
Alrighty. He succeeds the saving throw.
Alright, so it'll take half damage on 3d6.
And I'll let you know, it's not that he moves out of the way. It's that when you blast this burning hands right into his chest, the magic itself seems to dissipate around him.
Yeah. 5 damage.
5 damage. Yeah, his very being seems incredibly resilient to magic.
Man, duergar.
Rather. One of the weirdest enemies in 5e.
I would not have guessed.
I love the Underdark.
Yeah. Mainly, this is still going on.
There's only 2 left now, though.
Seems so. Of course, you now know these things can go invisible, so
Yeah.
there could be more.
Wish I knew detect magic. Okay. Well, again, peer around the corner. I will use sharpshooter on the injured one in front of Erlon.
Absolutely.
15?
Ah, sinks deep into his wooden shield, splintering it with the force, but dealing no damage.
Alright, same thing.
Alright.
Second one of the...
Holy
The dice
Never
betrayed
let us.
Underground
That's okay.
adventures.
Yeah.
That's
Under-
right.
Every time.
From now on, you guys will just adventure above ground.
Sounds good.
Erlon.
Just...
So, seeing that he blocked the arrows
Yep.
with his shield, Erlon's gonna use his great weapon mastery.
Great weapon mastery.
Great weapon mastery
Okay.
to get into a position to slash him where he's weak
Sure.
with a reckless attack, and that is 12.
Not quite, no.
So now that I'm
Oh,
behind his
slugfest.
shield, I'm gonna like slash his arm, hoping that
Sure.
he'll drop it. 10. No.
No. They are proficient in battle. These guys lead a raiding lifestyle, and they seem more than reactive enough. Leander.
Swinging at the injured one.
Okay.
Nat 20.
Yes. Yes.
I'm gonna make it a level 1 divine smite.
Okay.
We'll see if this affects them. Now, would I multiply the divine smite damage as well?
Multiply all damage dice.
Right.
Done.
He's gonna be dead.
Almost
11, 13, 26, 30 damage.
Yes. Yeah, Erlon, though you didn't manage to get your hits in, you were more than a fine enough distraction for when Leander slides in beside you and shoves his greatsword right up this thing's throat. And it falls over quite dead and shrinks.
And I turn to the one next to me.
Okay.
Another 20.
Really? Ooh!
Another level 1
Lucky
divine
rolls,
smite.
What's that, a 0.025% chance or something?
17, so 34, 38 damage.
He's dead!
I think Leander just, after stabbing that one straight through the chest and the divine energy glowing, like, radiating throughout him as he shrinks, pulling it out and slashing off the head of another one next to him, once again leaving a glowing white wound on the neck of him.
Mm-hmm.
Erlon and Walter just nod at you simultaneously. Nice.
Well done, well done.
Man, level 1 divine smite.
You are as confident in your battle brother as ever, Erlon. which will bring us to Jar. Jar, this bastard.
Yeah, Jar's just gonna go at him with his rapier.
It's good to go. Rogues, they get that one attack.
A lot of twos tonight.
Yeah, as you slash on down with a piercing strike, he whips it away with his wooden shield, which will bring us to them.
Thank you for the energy, melee.
He's gonna miss with his retaliatory strike with his war axe, his war pick, and then one against Gilroy. Gilroy, it's gonna hit for 6 damage.
Reduced
Oh, yeah.
by 4.
Wow. A weak pickaxe strike barely gives you a small chest, or your small little wound down your clavicle. Yeah, it just nicks you. Otherwise, you folks down the way in this larger chamber sense little movement around you. Seems to have quieted down quite a bit, and that initial guard post's worth of duergar are considered thoroughly defeated. Which will bring us to Gilroy. Back up the way.
Okay. I've got 2
This
guys.
map
in
is
front of
shifting
me.
all over the place.
2 guys, right? Just
Good.
2 brothers. Alright, I will. This time I will let my staff do the work, I suppose, and cast Scorching Ray.
Okay.
2 at the guy in front of me. And then.
One in the back.
Yeah, I suppose I'll do 1 in the back.
All right, let's see it.
1. That's a 10.
No.
That's a 16.
Yes.
Nice. And, 26. Alright,
No.
so.
Par for the course.
So 2d6 for the first one, 2d6 for the second one.
9.
You got him.
Nice.
You had 9 HP left.
Second. 6.
Ooh. You got him. The bolts of fire strike them true, and Jar, the one that you have been struggling with, gets hit right in the side and falls over with a black smoke just wafting off of him.
Stay down.
And all seems to go quiet. You guys are able to take a moment and reconvene if you would like to.
Sure.
Yeah.
Where would you guys want to group back up?
I'd say probably back down in the big chamber. That's where
Down
the
that
majority
way?
of us
Yeah,
are.
you guys certainly heard that Erlon and Leander must have been in quite the tussle.
Okay.
So you make your way, squeezing through the crack, presumably.
Yes.
You guys see Erlon actually just like cutting off the heads of the duergar in the rage. I don't know what other tricks they have. I gotta make sure they're dead.
Excellent.
Well, we killed scores of them. I don't know about you guys.
I was gonna say there's 7 here.
Is there anything of interest, like in the chest that the guy was
You gonna
going
search
through
through
or
that a little
anything?
bit?
Yeah.
So, given that a look through, it seems as though it's mostly food and items of lower quality and value, like bronze chalices and frayed ropes and broken mining equipment, mostly. Seems to be the discarded loot.
But they said there was power. So.
So, that room that you're in, this room's construction is distinctly different compared to the prior caverns. I had made that noted. There's darker carved stone bricks that form the walls, the floor, and ceiling, suggesting that this clan of duergar dug from the spire with the intent of breaking into these ruins, made their way through that natural cavern system. And so on the northern side of the room is 2 passages, one of which is blocked over with a large pile of rubble. To the west is a single passage, which leads to what appears to be a prison of sorts. As you can see, cells line the southern wall, and there are shackles to the north. To the south are 3 passages. The southern passage furthest to the west, which would be this guy here. You guys see that pink?
Yep.
Mm-hmm. There's, I'll let you guys just kind of check it out. It appears to be filled with rotting furs and hides, few of which look to be of any quality.
What the hell have they been stealing?
The center southern passage, this one, curves sharply to the west, down the way, kind of blocking off your vision. And then the passage furthest east, this one, leads to a room of crates and wicker baskets, all of which also contain what appears to be moldy biscuits and flour.
Well, anyways, it's good to be back in the fight, Erlon.
That was great, Leander.
Ugh.
You really gave it to him.
What's in this room to the north?
That's rubble.
Yep.
Oh,
yeah,
okay,
rubble
okay.
blocks your way.
So, which way do we want to go? And can we please try to avoid fights this time?
No promises. I think Leander's gonna head. Well, kind of get ready to head down the southernmost.
Southern
hall.
way?
Yeah.
I'll
Alright.
head down there with him.
Cool. I'll just kind of group us all up and move us along. And then you guys are relatively free to explore these rooms. Boom. You can look through this space as you please. So this space appears to be the sleeping quarters of the clan. Farthest down the hall, the largest of these rooms contains an old hardwood bed. That would be this room here. Let's stick someone in there. An old hardwood bed, a gorgeous mithril-lined chest, and a notebook of sorts, which seems to be filled with rough Dwarvish script. Do any of you speak Dwarvish?
Erlon does.
Leander does not.
Well, don't orcs.
Yes,
read
Jar
more
does.
than-
Oh, I think they use the same script.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Translates.
Right.
I do not. Elvish.
You guys can investigate this area?
Yeah,
Or attempt to perceive this area?
for sure. Let's get some of that power.
Take that notebook.
Yeah, I'm gonna
So casual. 19.
Nice.
21 investigation.
Alright.
12. Leander's just looking at the chest.
Jar, do you check out the chest, or was there anything else in particular that you'd be looking for?
I was just checking
Just
out
anywhere in the
the
area?
whole area, yeah.
Alright.
Just going through.
What about you guys?
For perception, I did 19.
Okay.
and 11.
Okay. And you got a 19 as well. So, first off, Gilroy. You see this guy.
Aww.
As you search about, you find that there is a small green snake which lies coiled underneath a bed in the corner of one of the southern rooms. It gives a slight hiss and uncurls itself, curiously approaching you, and then lifts up its head. Have you come to save my master?
I must admit that was not my intention, but who might your master be?
Zelriak of the Circle of the Knights.
Does any of that ring a bell?
Circle of Knights certainly sounds foreboding. And druids tend to form circles. Godric forewarned you of some evil druids.
Right.
How do you always end up with the...
The weird creatures and
Yeah.
familiars?
The dark dwarves found him in the woods. He's locked away in a cage to the north.
And how did you end up here?
When they took him, they bound him in adamantine shackles. I managed to slip away.
And here you came. I see, actually. Yes, we might be able to do that. Help your master out.
Wonderful. He knows many secrets.
Yes. Well, maybe he'd be willing to share some. Were he freed. Is there anything I should know about him? Type, face type?
Smooth.
Just what he looks like.
The snake goes out into the hallway and looks left and right, and then joints his head towards Erlon and goes, "He looks like that."
I'll follow it out into the hallway. Okay.
Would you take me with you?
Scoot him into my bag.
He makes his way right on up your leg and curls himself into the bag.
We're just watching this like, guess we have a snake.
I'm looking over the notebook.
I think Leander
Paying
probably
attention.
tried to
Sure.
open the chest. No, you go ahead.
No, I was just saying that I didn't see it.
Yeah, well, let's take care of those of you at the chest first. So, Zar, your investigation was, I mean, you'd be drawn right to this chest. Where's the loot gonna be under here? It's in there. The chest has a distinct key. The lock is very well made, and it may be very difficult to pick. Not only that, but as you look over the mechanism of it, it appears as though there's a trap set for whoever may attempt to make their way into this thing that would spray you with a vial of poisonous gas that seems rather deadly.
So does it appear that I could disable the trap, or does it seem to be like intrinsically bound
No,
to
you
the
could
key?
definitely give it a try. You can see a way for you to disconnect the mechanism from the vial itself, and that
Okay.
should theoretically make it safe.
Okay, so I guess we'll gonna give that a go.
Sure. Leander, you're watching on as he does
I would
this?
say I think Leander's kind of unsure yet of Jar, so he's just kind of leaned up against the wall, unsure of what he's even doing.
Absolutely.
So,
Erlon, you were looking at the notebook, so I'll put you in this corner. And Melee, presumably you're actually keeping guard.
Yeah, that's the plan.
Alright.
so just rolling this as a dex check, or
Yeah, we can do that.
okay,
Just straight up. Don't need to make it thieves' tool.
soft 20.
Nice. That is just good enough. It is a particularly sensitive mechanism, but you manage to take a very sharp little tool and tink away the line that connects it with the poisonous vial, which falls to the ground inside the mechanism with a slight thud, though it does not shatter. And you think that you've disarmed it, though opening the chest could be particularly difficult without a key of sorts. You can give it a go.
Might as well give it a go while we're
Sure.
at it. No, that's a
Yeah, you knew though, and in going in, you'd struggle away with it for a good minute and say, yeah, no, this thing isn't opening without the right key.
Yeah, so, we need a key.
You feel some movement in your pack.
I peek in.
A key? I've done some slithering about, goes the snake. Someone hides something in the furs.
Ugh, those smelly furs.
I'll take credit for that. I think the key, I have a feeling it might be in the furs.
I'll head towards the first since I'm closest.
Sure, throw me a perception check once you make it out into the larger room here.
Nice.
23.
Okay, so up this way, there is a duergar who is invisible, but you can hear as his shield clanks against the corner there, against the stone, and you can see a little bit of dust fall off, and you know one is standing there watching you. You could definitely attempt to get a shot in at it, but the moment your eyes lock towards its direction, you can also hear it begin to sprint off.
Okay. Can you ping like where I heard it? Where it went? So I can
Right
see?
there. Ooh. Oh yeah, your vision is so tiny. You
Yeah.
hear him.
Like, where can I hear him? I guess is
this corner here. Are you seeing that? Yeah, this corner here. He appears to be. I'm glad at least that the dynamic lighting is really working this season. Like, had some struggles with that in the past. So if you did shoot towards him, you'd be shooting into the darkness, which would be at disadvantage. Otherwise, you could just take this info.
I took the torch out
Yes.
of Gilroy's bag, but that only helps me
Cast
so much.
20 feet bright, 20
Yeah,
feet dim.
it's
Yeah.
not gonna- I'll go back and I will ask for help from Leander.
Sure.
Yeah, Leander will.
I'll just fill you in. I heard one think it's invisible.
Right.
Sounds good.
I can't see anything.
Well, if you want to use the torchlight to look through the the furs, I'll keep a look. Like, I'll
Yeah.
keep watch on them.
Sure.
We'll do that.
All right, throw me a investigation, Melee, just to see how long it takes you.
22.
It's right back there. I see it right in the torchlight. It would have been well hidden if you weren't so lucky.
Could have used that 20 earlier.
Yeah, right.
Okay. I'll take it.
Leander, you can throw a perception to attempt to perceive where this thing may be.
8.
He's gone.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was there. He was keeping watch. At least you know that they know where you are.
Fine with that.
Yeah. Melee, you find a shining, large silver key. It looks to have a distinct shape.
Alright, I'll take it.
Cool.
You go on ahead. I'll keep a watch.
Alright, so you make your way back on down here.
Yeah.
Before we deal with the chest and the key. Let me tell you what Erlon finds. So the notebook depicts the journey of this particular clan of duergar, who abandoned the mountains to the west and made their way towards the lake. The clan's leader, Orimnash, seems obsessed with ancient ruins found in the area. He has a lot of etchings of this spire and similar structures. And he led the clan to this space, which they've taken for their own over the past few months. There's a drawing of a large lizard man statue with the words "Revered One" underneath it.
So, I think as you're like looking in your sack and like whispering, I'm just like, that's weird. But I walk over and I say, Gilroy.
Yes.
I found more information, I believe, on the lizard statue we were looking for. This is a handwritten journal from the clan leader, Orimnash, and it states the strange thing is that they called the lizard man the Revered One.
Not the most common allies, but that's interesting. Maybe he's nearby. I hope.
Maybe. Have you heard of such a thing before?
Hey, at least a 21.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, 21.
So, as far as Karadmoren is concerned, and the way that etching looks, the very design of the statue, suggests that it was made by dwarves. Not dark dwarves, but dwarves. And so that brings to mind, well, Huron Molnar had a lot of enemies when he settled this land, and a lot of their battles were made into art to be memorized forever. Perhaps this is one of his longtime enemies from centuries ago that ended up somehow being revered by these dark dwarves.
Interesting. Yeah, so I'll share what I know, and then I'll take a look at the notebook again and say, that script is. Are you just able to read that now?
Oh no, I've learned Dwarvish.
Oh.
Our land borders theirs, so I was taught at a young age by my father,
Okay.
and where the elves are.
Fair enough. Just trying to keep track of the changes.
That can be surprising.
Yes, that is surprising. Great. Well, maybe we should keep it on hand. Fortunately, I mean, there's lots of ruins around here. Who's to say he's under this one?
Melee, you have the key.
Yes, I'm going to give it to Jar. I'm going to tell him to make it quick.
Okay.
They know where we are. Leander's keeping watch.
Okay, so he'll take the key and
Fits perfectly.
slide it in.
And you
Turn.
open up to a large pile of rated gold and platinum. It equals, with your quick estimation, about 5,000 in gold.
5,000 gold with the platinum.
Not bad.
There's a bunch of gold in here and platinum.
Seems to be the preferred pickings of the raids they do.
Right.
It seems they take money, so shall we just shove this in bag?
I think probably.
All right.
Add it to the communal fund.
Snake looks up, not this bag.
Did we want to do 1,000 apiece or add it to the communal fund?
Always the question.
Right.
Well, we could work at this afterward.
Alright.
You said that the time is of essence? Yeah?
We always stop to talk about gold.
I will keep the gold safe. I'm trustworthy.
I think Erlon should hold it.
If you insist, Bailey.
Okay.
You hear down the way some arguments over gold.
Let Tinker's wagon carry it. He makes enough noise as is.
You ate your words earlier when I killed that duergar in silence.
So you guys make your way back up towards that larger room.
Yeah.
It seems this place is
Indeed.
thoroughly investigated.
But can I grab that vial of acid, or was it inside the housing of the...
Once you open the thing up, it seems like the inner mechanisms of the trap were pretty much inside the chest. So yeah, you can grab it. And
How
I
heavy
will.
would the chest be?
Huh?
How heavy would the chest be? You said it's mithril.
It is mithril. The metal of it is particularly light, but the wood of it
It's
not so much.
okay.
So it would be you'd have to drag it pretty much.
All right,
Could it
so
be
we'll leave it behind.
shrunk?
He shrunk the
But
trunk.
it doesn't say more. It'll just get larger.
Truly, it
halfway
looks
through
like
the
a 500 gold nice caravan's chest, but no, it probably can't be moved too
You
easily.
turn the wood to.
Yeah.
We'll just take the mithril framework.
The poison
Decimate it.
is a con saving throw DC 17 or 25 poison damage. It's potent. All right, so you guys make your way back up into the common room, which we'll call this room, seeing as kind of the
Central
yeah.
chamber.
There's still more chambers, yeah?
So there are. There's the ones to the west, which you note appeared a lot like a prison, and then there's the one to the passage to the north, which you presume connects back with the passage that you were holding off on.
Okay.
Um,
So the west looks like a prison.
Yes, exactly as the snake had said. Due north of here, there should be some cells.
Okay.
So shall I scout this out as well?
Yeah, you seem quite qualified.
All right, throw that stealth.
I look to the snake and I say, really thought this would be much further.
26.
26.
Yes.
You're feeling rather stealthy. And yeah, you make it relatively deep into this room. It no doubt served as the duergar's prison and torture chamber for any unfortunate souls that they managed to capture in their nighttime raids. The floor is covered in pools of rusty red, which you presume are the remnants of blood. And on the far side sits a recently used rack.
That's the far west.
Yeah, that
Okay.
table over there.
And other alcoves to the north and south, or
To the north are two passages. The westernmost passage, this one, which you managed to peer through. Like this. Leads to a large pillared room.
okay.
A flickering orangish light coats the walls. And then the easternmost passage, which you also get a good look in. This right here. Seems to be a torture chamber filled with apparatus of torture.
Okay.
Some gnarly looking instruments. And you overhear the slightest of noises from the furthest of the cages down that way.
Okay. Can what does it sound like, or is it just?
Sounds like hide against stone? Like someone's readjusting themselves?
Okay. I guess we'll investigate that way a little bit.
Alright. And so as you glance in this way, you see this guy. But when you approach, a figure emerges from a shadowy corner. It's a man wearing furs and he has a dirty, somewhat bestial-looking face. Almost has wolf-like. What is that?
Qualities.
Qualities, yeah, exactly. Thank you. His hands are chained behind his back, wrapped in a strange greenish-looking metal. Ah, hello.
Oh, hello. Who might you be?
Zelriak, of the Circle of Night.
I think we were looking for you for a friend of yours.
You've done well. Excellent. As you can see, I'm quite chained up at the moment. And that prevents me from not only escaping, but giving you some knowledge I may have about power, enviable power to be found in this area.
Okay. Interesting. What sort of power?
The writings of a curious mind.
I'm interested. I'm intrigued. Whips out the thieves' tools and gonna examine his volumes.
Has
Okay.
he been gone a long
He has
time?
been
Are we
now
getting
gone for 2
suspicious?
minutes, and therefore
Yeah.
you guys definitely are feeling.
So he's either been killed or left us, I think. Just before you get too much.
I think I took the gold.
I'm gonna try and go ahead. I don't want to wait for him anymore while he's talking to him.
Sure.
Learning about power and everything.
So you're just gonna go into what appears to be the torture
I'm
chamber.
going to try to be stealthy about it in case he was killed.
All right, yeah.
Which is 17.
You're feeling pretty stealthy.
Okay. And then when I see he's just talking to someone, I'm just gonna go back and get them.
Okay.
And,
I could presumably realize that she came in.
Yes.
Oh, I said, wait a minute.
I'm not very good at that.
I'm gathering you guys on up. Anyone else gonna attempt to be stealthy, or just moving on?
We can try.
You can try for sure.
Well, you saw I made it back okay too.
Oh,
so.
they
You were very stealthy.
yeah, 14.
14.
Yeah.
Nice.
Well, yeah, I have an inkling that that's where the prisoner is, so.
Yes, you do. Yeah, you see Jar is picking away at something. It seems to be speaking with someone. No doubt the prisoner you search for.
Yeah, I didn't go that
I'm
way.
gonna
I
just
just
turn
saw
to
him talking.
Jar's gonna turn to the group. Shh. Point to the north.
All right. And so you begin to unshackle. The actual cage itself is trivial to open,
Okay.
but the shackles are more difficult. So that will take a thieves' tools.
Okay. And you said they're green, does it appear to be something of the metal, or is it
It is,
magical?
Yeah, no doubt. It has a semi-magical aura, and it's probably adamantium.
Not very good. That's a total of 7. That's it.
Yeah, you pick away at it, but Zelriak goes, you hear that? They're coming. Leave me be.
Okay. So I'm assuming everyone else in the room heard that.
Yes.
And now they're going to try to
I'm going up against
hide.
the wall.
Up against the wall.
Yeah, on the north side.
Anyone else gonna go hide?
Jar's gonna hide next to the hallway, ready his rapier.
Over this way.
To the yep, right there, exactly.
Leander?
He's gonna get into this cell here.
Okay. Erlon?
Erlon's just going to. You know what? He'll square up next to Melee if he has enough time.
Sure. Yeah, no, absolutely. You were given enough forewarning, and you all scramble. Like here? Ish?
Yeah.
Like Gilroy? Anything you want to do?
I'll look to. What's his name? Kezriel?
Zelriak.
Zelriak.
Kezriel. It was all the right letters.
Yeah. Zelriak. And then I guess I'll hide. The only way I know how, with rope trick.
Okay. So you pop out of existence by climbing up a rope real quick.
Yes.
And this guy, this particular dark dwarf, who looks very much so like a jailer with a ring set of keys, walks right on past you all. Let me make sure. Wow! Walks right on past you all and up to Zelriak, where he begins to taunt away. You poor sucker! Caught in the middle of the night! Don't you own these woods? Zelriak spits on the ground.
Can
Erlon, it's easy.
I have my
peasy.
hand axe out, my returning hand axe, and I just nudge Melee. Same time.
Jar
Yeah.
try to sneak up.
So
Oh, yeah.
Wait, we're gonna be like, hold on, and we're going to try to hit him at the same time.
they give you the wait
Like,
sign,
no.
Jar. Yep. Give it a go.
Alright, advantage.
Yes.
Do you have another?
Ooh.
Ooh!
Nat 20.
Nice.
And I, unnatural 20.
Those both hit.
Kill him.
So. Oh, it's over here.
You'll disappear.
So,
So,
you're
9
gonna have to
damage.
help me with my. I
Yeah.
still don't quite understand.
Yep.
Crit. So I rolled a 7,
That's
Gives
times 2.
14.
14 plus 3.
Yep.
Okay.
17?
Yep.
That's how much. You guys did the perfect amount of damage to kill him.
Strike team.
Yep,
Yay.
absolutely.
Thank you.
The returning hand axe gets whipped into the back of his shoulder, and as he's leaning over, an arrow thunk, right through the side of the head. He falls to the ground with a thud. His keys jingling about in his hands.
I was just going to try to steal his keys and wait for him to be done. You have to make it messy. Ugh.
You see this chamber. I'm not letting any of them stay alive.
Gilroy peering down, you can see. Seems clear, yep.
Okay. I suppose I'll come down from my other plane and look to. Somebody has the keys, right? At this point.
No one's picked them up quite yet.
I'll pick up the keys.
You jump out, slide down the rope, grab the keys.
So helpful.
And I'll taunt the druid with them.
Jingle them in front of him.
Yes,
And
So doing the same thing that the last guy was basically.
pretty much.
the snake in your bag looks up at you and he goes, "Free my master." And Zelriak gives you a slight grin. He goes, "You want to know?" Yes. Very well.
Can I roll insight?
Sure.
Yes, and not a moment before.
Huh?
Cone of truth.
Oh. No, I won't do that yet.
Waste of a.
18.
18? He seems distinctly desperate, though he's trying to hide it. He's actually looks rather frail and starving. They obviously have not fed him in some time.
He's obviously been tortured.
Yeah, he's putting up a facade here.
Mhm.
But the fact that he really is attempting to bargain with this information,
Right.
so you presume that it's probably true.
Mhm.
And he goes to you, "You seek enviable power. That can be found here. These duergar, they don't realize the value in what they raid sometimes. I saw them come across a scroll. One that I believe you may be able to make good use of in this line of work. You can find it with this." And he gestures, with his locked up elbow, towards a pouch on his belt. "I have a powder. It reveals invisible items. They have it hidden away, but they do not realize its true worth. North of here, where they keep their food stocks. The meat, anyway."
Someone grab that powder.
Yeah. I want to ask him, why have they kept you alive? Why are you locked up here?
"Oh, they want to know things about the everlasting Father. Unfortunately, they asked the wrong questions."
What would be the right question?
"Oh, who may be setting the giants against each other? Who would corrupt their leader into a monstrosity such as that? Why, only those who wish to keep the natural order in balance, of course. And these dark dwarves came here to disrupt that. So, that's the way it is."
So it's back to Gilroy, like, sorry I interrupted you, just
No.
real curious.
"Now set me free."
So we've got
Bring
the
him with us.
powder.
He'll recoil if you attempt to grab it from him, but You can make it inside the cage and pretty much take it from him, yeah.
I think Leander turns to Gilroy. Hand me the keys.
Well, okay.
He takes them. He puts them in a pouch, and he moves in to his Elriax to grab the pouch.
Sure. Come now. Let me go back to my people. Don't leave me down here.
We won't be leaving you. Trust me.
So what? That's it? You steal from me?
We'll be back.
You're not the
Give us
first person I
information.
stole it from.
He did give us information,
He did.
and he is starving.
How about this? If you free me, I promise your travel through the Everdark will be easy. If you don't, I promise it will be terribly difficult. And he gives a snarl with that wolf-like face, like.
Are we supposed to trust him after that?
Yeah.
Like,
Are you
I'm
threatening me?
assaulting your situation.
I don't
here.
think you're in any position to do such a thing.
You
Just-
can await the consequences of leaving me here all you will.
I'll look at the snake, and then I'll cast knock.
Okay? The chains fall to the ground. Excellent! And the snake curls out of your bag and goes to the ground, and in a snap, the druid transforms into a much larger python-like snake and begin to slither their way out and towards the cavern system.
If he keeps his word, we'll have easy travel. If he doesn't, we'll kill him. So
We'll deal with this later, Gilroy.
And I think that's where we'll cut to break for now. Thanks so much for joining us on this dungeon delve. I hope you've been enjoying it. Is there anything we need to say before we cut to break, Teach?
no, thanks for hanging.
Yeah.
We'll be back.
If you haven't followed us already, be sure to do so on Twitch. And if you're watching this on YouTube, throw us a comment if you're enjoying the adventure. Let us know what you think. Throw us a like. And look out for part 2. They always upload about 30 minutes apart from each other. We'll be back in 5. See you then, guys.